I started out my career as an analyst with an investment banking firm here in Richmond. Then I spent around 10 years in the alternative world. And that may not mean a lot to our clients, but for me, that meant that my clients were mostly institutions, high net worth individuals, and we focused on private markets exclusively. So this is investing in private equity, real estate, credit, hedge funds. And you learned a lot. Private markets are vastly different from public markets. I reached a point in my life where I wanted to see the other side of things, and as it happened to be, a former colleague of mine knew John personally and introduced us. And over coffee one day, we started talking about potentially teaming up, and John bringing me on board to the team. And we spent a lot of time making sure that it was the right fit for both of us long term, but also for his clients at the time and now ours. And I've been with John now for going on 13 years, and we've built the team out from that point. We now have Josh and Andrew, and of course Mary, who is an integral part of the team. And we've got something I think that's really special. But the backgrounds that all of us have are uniquely different. And I think what clients don't often see is behind the scenes, the collaboration, the debate, the discussions that we have from our backgrounds and various experience that we bring to the table are really unique. And I think they result in a better outcome for our clients. Every client is unique, but the one underlying trait that I see in every client at every stage of life, regardless of wealth or career or background, is they're focused on their families, and they're focused on taking care of those that are closest to them. That might be an individual, it might be a spouse, it might be a child, it might be a charity, but they're focused on using their wealth to create a sense of comfort and prosperity for others. And I honestly think it's really unique in that we identify that is the primary motivator for most of our clients. You can make investing as complex as you want it to, and you can look at beta and alpha and go through all these technical terms for evaluating a stock and measuring the value of the overall stock market. But at the end of the day, time is the greatest benefit that investors have. So I think it's really important not to overcomplicate something that's incredibly simple. It's also one of the hardest things to do, I think, is to be an investor, because you're flooded with all this information. Our phones are in our pockets. On a daily basis, we are flooded with snippets of information. And I think we're hardwired to try to react to that and make a decision or to do something. And investors have a tendency to feel, if I'm not doing something, if I'm not making a decision, if I'm not acting on it, then I'm not doing anything to further my progress. In reality, the opposite is what's true, which is compounding is the easiest thing to do. It's start early, stay invested, and you feel the benefits of it over the long term. The challenge is you don't feel it early, and so investing requires delayed gratification. And that's a hard thing for most investors, I think, to appreciate. We've all heard the quote that Albert Einstein says that compound interest is the 8th wonder of the world. It's a really hard thing for us to visualize in our day-to-day lives. But there's a great story where if you take a penny and you double the value of the penny every day, after 30 days, that penny has turned into $5 million. But if you stop at day 26 or 27, it's only $671,000. And the point of sort of recognizing that and thinking about that, obviously that's not going to occur. But if you can think about the magnitude of the gains came in the last few days. And what most investors do is they disrupt that process of compounding at some point along the way. They make a decision. They get shaken out of the market. They stop investing. And they delay that natural process or stop it altogether. So for most investors, one of the best things they can do is start early, invest with the discipline, tune out the noise, and then just wait for the benefits over time. I'm an obsessive fly fisherman. It's a problem sometimes to manage family and work and my desire to be on the water. But in reality, I'm lucky. I've got two boys that are now 12 and 10 years old and love to fish. So I have an easy outlet on the weekend. But I actually spent the earliest part of my career, actually when I was in college and immediately after college, I worked as a fly fishing guide in Wyoming. And it was a great experience. I think I took away a lot from that I still apply today, just in terms of work ethic and getting to know clients and making an impact. And in a lot of ways, trying to control something you can't control. The market's a lot like that, where you can set out with a plan, but the fish or the weather can change that plan in an instant, and the market can do the same thing. So at the end of the day, you have to really understand what you can and can't control. So whether I'm in the office working or out on the water, I'm always trying to really focus on the things that I have an influence on and can have an impact on, and everything else I'm just along for the ride.